future analysis. As we move more and more toward personalized medicine, and we stop treating cancer the way the Egyptians did, which was to cut it out, or to cook it, or the way Alexander the Great did, you took him up the mountains and you froze it for as long as you can, and it came back. It wasn't cold. And until we escaped from the yoke of Madame Curie and radiating, which is a cancer-inducing procedure in non-cancerous tissue, we need to be able to study the biology of the disease in the treated patient some years later to determine if the cancer is new, if the cancer is different. And I'm not here to give you a lecture on cancer. It's a word, and if we talk about any cancer, breast cancer, liver cancer, prostate cancer, it is the individual's cancer. It has some common characteristics with other individuals' cancer, but it's their unique disease. It's genetically unique, and it responds differently. And for example, prostate cancer, which is our specialty, when physicians take biopsies, they'll take fecal biopsies throughout that, they identify cancer. Chances are there's 5 or 6 different genetic-based responsive cancers, and they respond differently to different treatments and different therapies. We don't do that now. We treat them generically. City, blow it up, bad time. We don't look at the individual components of it. That is what is happening now with modern medicine. And so we're going to see a regional cancer center developed locally, and one of the components of it will be a biobank. And actually much of the funding for that has been pretty much identified. So why here? We've had opportunities to leave many, many times. And we keep asking, why didn't we? Every time it snows. I keep thinking keys, not car. The university partnerships have worked well, despite the fact that I'm personally an enigma within the system. Most faculty don't do this. In fact, none do it. And the university is learning how to cope with faculty who are sufficiently entrepreneurial to challenge them. It's just a different culture. But nonetheless, it's worked well. It still is in every way we do things. Every time I've gone to any government entity, they've been supportive. If not verbally, they try to find some resources in one way or the other. Economic development, IDAs, and so forth, they've all been very helpful. Within the confines of their abilities. They're limited. I think we have an excellent workforce here. We have no trouble identifying people, having people come to us, and we give them the job skills they need with respect to the laboratory. And any company will do that. In fact, most companies in the biotech sector don't want students to learn the techniques they are using at that company. They want to teach them themselves so they don't develop bad habits. And so the brain drain is totally real. I recognize that. I believe when BU doubles in size, which is part of the plan, just the sheer numbers is going to help retain a larger body of young people in the area. But we have brought 3 people back from Boston, 1 from Philadelphia, 2 from Syracuse, and Anthony, who last I knew was in Portugal before we brought him back. But in any event, if you provide an environment, a work environment, and you provide the right kinds of tools and the right kind of, I guess, management, if you will, people will come back and will learn. We built our own, we rehabbed our own building, and we just actually finished building a new building, the cost of which was shared primarily by the National Institute of Health and New York State Restore New York 3 program, and quite heavily John and myself. And you're welcome to visit at any time, but we built it as a people-friendly facility. Dan, you've been there. So, I think you're the only one in the group, but it's warm, it's friendly, it's open, it's airy, and enjoy coming to work. From a business side, I like the wages locally. They're low compared to what one would pay in San Diego or Boston or even Raleigh, Durham, and so forth. We've had 3 offers, serious haircut offers. One was from Pittsburgh. The university knows that because I shared with them all the documents. They aggressively worked to retain the 3 people that were being moved away at the time. And they did what they needed to do. They opened their purse. And so they kept the group. Charleston, they'll give us a building. Anything we want. Rains too much. South Carolina, it's worse than New Jersey. In Miami, and Miami's not my kind of work. So anyway, but the point is, if you have successes, you'll be recruited. You simply have to determine what you're going to do, and we continuously economically handicap ourselves so we can't do it. Because we like it here, actually. Quality of life, very important. I've lived in a number of areas, but it's a good place here. And capital is available if you take the time to work the system and look for it. The banks have been very cooperative. We continuously get short-term lines of credit. We needed a quick $700,000 line of credit for the building we're putting up before the grant money came in. We had it in 2 weeks. It was not an issue. Just they like that $150 a day interest we pay. But recently we got REACH certification, which is a USDA certification. So that now our loans are at 2%. When we need them to bridge various activities. The IDAs have been cooperative with short-term funding as we needed it. This particular route, I'm not sure if I'm quoting here, if it's Churchill or not, but it's tough. It's tough. I have visited in raising money, I don't count them, but a lot, sort of well over 100 venture capitalists over the years. And, you know, you do the dog and pony, and you just don't know whose interest you're going to pique, so they want to invest. And it's a very difficult thing to do. They all like it, but once they invest, they take the first, second, third born and other body parts, and you lose it. And that's what happened with Biotech. We took the money, and within a year, Development Observer said, no, I want a big building, I want stainless steel. I want to see people, I want coffee shops, we're out of here. Those are the decisions. It was a bad economic decision, in my view, and it cost them a fortune to do those kinds of things. So, just be aware of what that means. I've talked to a number of my colleagues who are small startup companies, and they're looking at outside investors, and it doesn't matter what level you need, that level is sufficient to take from you all your hard work. And you have no promise of any return, because contracts, I'm not sure you could understand it. I mean, no, they're really a lot of what ifs, and the what if is you may not get anything out of your investment other than 2 or 3 years salary of continuing to develop the technology of the company. So very, very risky. We've been able to do a lot of private investing on our own because of some of our past activities, but because we have made a decision that this is what we're going to do. try to pull a vote. But this is a picture of me on the Susquehanna River. It's the role of an entrepreneur in the southern tier today. We're still pretty much alone, but nonetheless, it's worth the effort, it's worth the activities. Thank you.
Any other questions?